Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from the EP Source. My name is Isaac Furland. I've spent almost a decade in the protection space, and today we're going to have a holiday-themed episode. We're doing a protection review of a few incidents that took place here in the US. We're going to talk about a few principles about how these violent encounters could have been mitigated. A lot of companies like to talk about situational awareness. Now here at the EP Source, one thing we like to do a little bit differently is break it down into a very actionable, digestible term for what situational awareness really is. Understanding the baseline of your environment, the normal things that occur in this environment. That way we can determine what are the anomalies in that baseline to help mitigate or determine risks before they happen. So when we talk about the holidays and we think about baselines around the holidays, we have carolers, we have a lot of Santa engagements, sitting on Santa's lap, going to festivities for the holidays, which are fantastic. But this is the new baseline. So people showing up on people's doorsteps and singing, going to events and having a dressed up character or figure is something that is really common. So the couple events that we're going to talk about today, we're going to first talk about the Covina massacre that happened on Christmas Eve in LA in 2008. So an individual dressed as Santa Claus showed up to a household where they were having a family party, and the daughter answered the door. She was probably between the ages of 7 and 8 years old, and she let the individual in because he was dressed as Santa Claus and he was carrying gifts. Now, this is great to note that around the holidays, kids see Santa, they see presents, and they think this is a normal part of this baseline that should exist. So she lets the individual in, he's carrying gifts. Unfortunately, it was either homemade or purchased, but inside of the gift that he unwrapped was a flamethrower, and he proceeded to violently massacre the entire family and burn the house down. Now, this could have been mitigated by having a conversation with kids about strangers, even though it is the holidays, by having better access control measures put for their household. However, this unfortunately led to a very violent encounter that could have been mitigated by understanding the principles of the environment. Now, the second one that we are going to talk about happened in Texas in 2011. He was dressed as Santa Claus, and this is why the kid let him into the house. Again, very similar to the first massacre. The killer, unfortunately, had just gone through a divorce or just filed for divorce from his wife and was still in the area but was feeling lonely for the holidays, so paid a visit to the family. And upon visiting the family, one of his kids let him into the household, and from there, he was able to pull out a firearm and kill the entire family and then ultimately commit suicide at the end of the engagement. But again, it really speaks to the baselines of the environment and really having a conversation with your family around this is what normal looks like, and let's consider what would be outside of that normal. Now, the holidays also, fortunately and unfortunately, really escalate feelings in general. So those who are typically lonely throughout the year, it's going to be exacerbated during the holidays. They're really going to be more alone when stores are closed, bars are closed, venues are closed. There's not as much they can go do by themselves if they don't have a family to hang out with. And so the same thing on the flip side, it's a time for a lot of joy and gratitude of being around your family and having this engagement. And so it can really be, it can really influence both ends of the spectrum. For those looking to conduct violence who are feeling alone, it might just be the thing that pushes them over the edge. Another thing that happens around the holidays is we typically don't see a lot of family or extended family, which means that whether there was an issue that happened previously that has been pent up over a long time, alcohol doesn't help with this, or the extended time frame that you spend with your family that you normally don't. So this happens to lead to a lot of violent encounters as well. And crime rates around the holidays do tend to go up because of these factors. Now, I appreciate you watching this video. These are a few things that we like to take into consideration around threat assessment and threat mitigation around the holiday season. Stay safe out there and understand that baselines change, and just because it's the holidays doesn't mean that everything is out of normal. So Merry Christmas, and hope you have a great rest of your night.